ஹாய் வியூவர்ஸ், என்னோடய வீடியோஸ் பிடிச்சிருந்தால் லைக் பண்ணுங்கள். இது வரைக்கும் சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணாதவங்க சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்கள். ரைட் சைடில் இருக்கக்கூடிய பெல் பட்டனை கிளிக் பண்ணுங்கள். நீங்கள் கொடுக்குற ஒவ்வொரு லைக்ஸும் நான் நிறைய வீடியோஸ் அப்லோட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு மோட்டிவேட்டாக இருக்குது. ஸோ லைக், ஷேர், சப்ஸ்கிரைப் அண்ட் கமெண்ட் மை வீடியோ. Our today's topic is about peasant movements in India. Peasants, that is the farmers or cultivators, struggles in British India. Peasants' revolts before 1857, revolts after 1857's mutiny, peasants' revolt in 20th century. We are going to discuss in detail some of the important revolts made by the peasants in India. Peasants' revolts. The British rule in India brought many changes in the agricultural system in the country. The old agriculture system was collapsed, and under the new system, the ownership of land was given to the zamindars. They tried to extract as much as they could from the cultivators of the land. The life of the peasants was extremely sad. The various peasant movements and uprisings during the 19th and 20th century were in the nature of protest. So the farmers, the cultivators protested against the British because they were exploited. The Santhal Rebellion. Santals are the tribal community inhabiting larger parts of Jharkhand, West Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. The first revolt, which can be regarded as peasants' revolt, was the Santhal Rebellion in 1855 to 1856. The land near the hills of Rajmahal in Bihar was cultivated by the Santals, that is the tribal people. The landlords and moneylenders from the cities took advantage of the ignorance and began grabbing. Grabbing means getting their lands. This created bitter resentment among them, leading to the armed uprising in 1855. Consequently, under the leadership of two Santhal brothers, Sindhu and Kanhu, nearly 10,000 Santals gathered to free their country of the foreign oppressor and set up a government of their own. The rebellion assumed a formidable shape within a month. The houses of the European planters, British officers, railway engineers, zamindars and moneylenders were attacked. The Santhal rebellion continued till February 1856, when the rebel leaders, that is Sindhu and Kanu, were captured and the movement was put down with a heavy hand. The government declared the Parganas, that is group of villages inhabited by them, as Santhal Parganas, so that their lands and identity could be safeguarded from the British. The next revolt is Indigo Revolt 1859 to 60. Let us see what is an indigo. Indigo, a plant that produces a blue dye, was an important part of South Carolina's 18th century economy. It was grown commercially from 1747 to 1800 and was second only to the rise in export value. Simple because once when indigo is grown in a land, the soil loses its fertility. And in the late time when India was independent, the farmers were forced to grow indigo but don't get the appropriate wages, as well as they even can't grow the crops of their choice. Indigo Revolt 1859 to 1860. The Bengal indigo cultivators' strike was the most militant and widespread peasant uprisings. The European indigo planters compelled our Indian farmers to grow indigo at terms highly disadvantageous to the farmers. So here the European planters enjoyed a monopoly over indigo, and they forced our Indian farmers to grow indigo by signing a fraudulent deals. The cultivators were forced to grow indigo in place of food crops. For this purpose, they granted loan. Once the farmers took loans, they could never repay it due to the high rate of interest. The rate of tax is also high. The farmers were brutally oppressed if they could not pay the rent or refused to do as asked by the planters. They were forced to sell indigo at non-profitable rate. If a farmer refused to grow indigo and planted paddy, the European resorted to illegal means to get the farmer to grow indigo, such as the Europeans will loot and burn the crops, kidnap the farmers' family members. The indigo farmers revolted in the Naida district of Bengal by refusing to grow indigo. The farmers were led by Digambar Bivas and Vishnu Charan Bivas. The riots of Naida district gave up indigo cultivation in September 1859. Factories were burned down and the revolt spread To take control of the situation, the government set up a Indigo Commission in 1860, whose recommendations formed part of the Act 6 of 1862. The indigo planters of Bengal, however, moved on to settle in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. The press also supported the revolt. The newspaper Hindu Patriotic brought to light the misery of the cultivators several times. Dinabandhu Mitra wrote a drama, Nildarban, that is the mirror of indigo, in Bengali with a view to draw the attention of the people and the government towards the misery of the indigo cultivators. Pabna Revolt 1873 to 1876. Pabna Peasant Uprising was a resistance movement by the peasant against the oppression of Jamindars. So this revolt was against the Jamindars. It originated in the Yusuf Sahi Pargana of Pabna in Bengal. It was led by Keshab Chandra Roy. The Jamindars collected money from the cultivators by the illegal means of forced levy, abwabs means fines, and increased rent. The peasants were often moved out from the land due to non-payment of rent. Large crowds of peasants gathered and marched through villages, frightening the Jamindars and asking other peasants to join with them. Funds were raised from the riots to meet the costs. The struggle gradually spread throughout Pabna and then to other districts of East Bengal. Everywhere the agricultural farmers were organized. The main form of the struggle was that of legal resistance. There was very little violence. It occurred only when the Jamindars tried to compel the farmers to submit to their terms by force. There were only a few cases of looting of the houses of the Jamindars. The peasants attacked the police stations and they also opposed the court order. Hardly Jamindars or Jamindars' agent were killed or seriously injured. In the course of the movement, the farmers developed a strong awareness of the law and their legal rights and ability to combine and form associations for peaceful protest. Deccan riots in 1875 in Maharashtra. In 1875, the peasants revolted in the district of Pune. That event had been called the Deccan riots. The peasants revolted primarily against the oppression of local moneylenders who were grabbing their land systematically. So this revolt was because of the moneylenders. The uprising started from a village in Pune district when the village people forced out a local moneylender from the village and captured his property. The main purpose was to obtain and destroy the bonds, degrees, and other documents of the farmers in the possession of moneylenders. Gradually, the uprising spread over 33 villages and the peasants looted the property of Marwari Sakukas, that is moneylenders. The uprising turned into violent when the moneylenders took help of the police. It was suppressed only when the army was called to control it. However, this revolt was resulted in passing of Deccan Agriculturist Relief Act, which removed some of the grievances of the peasants. Punjab Peasant Movement 1890 to 1900. The peasants of the Punjab agitated to prevent the rapid alienation of their lands, that is land acquisition, to the urban moneylenders for failure to pay debts. Debts means kadan. The government of India did not want any revolt in that province because Punjab provided a large number of soldiers to the British Army in India. In order to protect the peasants of the Punjab Land Alienation Act was passed in the year 1900 as an experimental measure in Punjab, then that will be extended to the rest of India. The act divided the population of Punjab into three categories. Number 1, agricultural class. Number 2, the statutory agriculturalist class. Number 3, moneylenders. The restrictions were imposed on the sale and mortgage means adamanam of the land from the first category, that is from agricultural classes to the other two categories. What was Tinkatya system? Tinkatya was a system under which the native peasants of Champaran, that is Bihar, were forced to cultivate 3 katta indigo out of every 20 katta bigha of land. A bigha is a popular land holding in Bihar and it is less than an acre. The next revolt is Champaran Satyagraha in the year 1917 to 1918. It was a farmers' uprising that took place in Champaran district of Bihar during the British colonial period. Many tenant farmers were forced to grow some indigo on a portion of their land as condition of their tenancy. The European planters of Champaran and Bihar resorted to illegal and inhuman methods of indigo cultivation at a cost which was wholly unjust. Under the Tinkaita system in Champaran, the peasants were bound by law to grow indigo on 3 out of 20 part of their land and send the same to the British planters at prices fixed by them. They were liable to unlawful extortion, that is demand and oppression by the planters. Mahatma Gandhi took up their cause. The government appointed an inquiry commission of which Mahatma Gandhi was a member. The grievances, that is, the problems of the peasants, were inquired and ultimately the Champaran Agrarian Act was passed in May 1918. Kheda Satyagraha in the year 1918. In the Kheda district of Gujarat, due to constant famine, that is Panjam, agriculture failed in 1918, but the officers insisted on collection of full land revenue. The local farmers therefore started a no tax movement in Kheda district in 1918. Gandhiji accepted the leadership of this movement. Gandhiji organized the peasants to offer satyagraha, that is non-violence, and opposed official insistence on full collection of oppressive land revenue despite the conditions of famine. He inspired the peasants to be fearless and face all consequences. The response to his call was unprecedented, that is unknown, and the government had to bow to the settlement with the peasants. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the Indian of India, emerged as an important leader of the Indian freedom struggle during this period. The next revolt is Mopla Rebellion 1921. The Muslim Mopla peasants of Malabar, that is Kerala, was suppressed and exploited by Hindu Jamindars and the British government. This was the main reason for this revolt. The Mopla peasant got momentum from the Malabar District Conference held in April 1920. This conference supported the tenant cause and demanded the law for regulating landlord-tenant relationship. In August 1921, the Mopla tenants rebelled against the Jamindars. At the initial stage, they attacked the police station, public offices, communications, and houses of oppressive landlords and moneylenders. By December 1921, the government suppressed the Mopla rebellion ruthlessly. According to an estimate, as a result of government intervention, nearly 2,337 Mopla rebellions were killed, 1,650 were wounded, and more than 45,000 were captured as prisoners. Bardoli Satyagraha in the year 1929 to 1930. In 1928, the peasants of Bardoli, that is Gujarat, started the agitation under the leadership of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in protest against the government's proposal to increase land revenue by 30%. So what was the main cause for this revolt? Government proposal to increase land revenue. The peasant refused to pay tax at increased rate and started no tax campaign from 12th February 1928. Many women also participated in this campaign. In 1930, the peasants of Bardoli refused to pay taxes, faced the oxen sale and the eventual loss of almost all of their lands, but refused to submit to the government. However, all their lands were returned back to them when the Congress came to power in 1937. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel for more videos. It will be useful for your competitive exam.